I bet you didn't know that there are over 1,600 different species of animals that are threatened or endangered as we speak and are on their way to extinction. According to Endangerment Species International, 905 species of animals have already been found as extinct. In just the United States alone, there have been over 250 species to be found extinct. Pretty crazy numbers considering that there are roughly only around 45,000 species of animals left on the planet. There are numerous factors that come into play regarding why some animals are on the verge to extinction, some of which we cannot alter, such as global warming and geological events. However, some of the reasons these animals are becoming endangered is because of habitat loss, pollution, poaching, and retaliatory killings in some extreme cases. These are all things that could and should be reversed in order to maintain the number of thriving species of animals on the planet. The world is an ongoing, growing place, and there are over 7 billion people in the world, and the numbers just continue to rise. This could be due to the fact that we are advancing in medicine and people are simply living longer. No matter the case, the world is becoming a very crowded place, and we are in need of new lands to dwell upon. Many seek out to create civilizations and societies in certain species' habitat. For example, tigers in Southeast Asia are one of the most endangered species in the world, especially the Bengal tiger, according to World Wildlife Fund. Habitats for these animals are becoming disrupted by humans who are building cities too close to the tiger's natural habitat. This creates a human-to-tiger conflict in which the tigers are found to roam throughout the homes and communities of the people. As you can imagine, people do not welcome tigers very well into their communities and are then relayed to commit such heinous crimes as to kill them. Yes, I said crime. According to World Wildlife Fund, it is considered a felony to kill any endangered species that are threatened with extinction. The Florida panther is one of the species of animals who have been faced with endangerment as well because of destruction of their own habitat, according to the top U.S. endangered species threatened by human population. These animals once ranged all throughout the southeastern area of the United States, but as of now, they can only be found in certain regions of South Florida. It was listed as an endangered species in 1967 because of habitat destruction and fragmentation. Top 10 stated that large numbers of panthers died as the expanding network of roads connecting Florida's rapidly growing human population spread throughout its range. As of 2011, there are only 100 to 120 panthers left. Another example of this is the Atlantic bluefin tuna. This species is endangered due to overharvesting and because they have recently been known to be extremely overfished. This type of tuna is caught to be prepared as sushi, and that is why they have been overfished. Now is merely a rare commodity. A serious threat the animals are faced with is poaching. Poaching is the killing of an animal for their skin, fur, and bones in order to make a profit off of them, known as wildlife trade. WWF suggests that wildlife trade escalates into a crisis when an increasing proportion is illegal and unsustainable, directly threatening the survival of many species in the wild. Some examples are seen in the poaching of elephants for ivory and tigers for their fur and skins. The main cause for poaching is the increase of the human population and the demand for wildlife. As the population grows, the demand increases even more. People expect access to a variety of seafoods, leather goods, timbers, medicinal ingredients, and textiles. At the other end, extreme poverty means some people see wildlife as valuable barter for trade. Recently, rhinos have been put into extreme danger because of the recent myth circulating around Vietnam. The Vietnamese people think rhino horn somehow can cure cancer, and because of this, many innocent rhino lives have been taken. This is extremely sad for the rhino species because they are now endangered on the road to mass extinction. And I actually have a picture of what the Vietnamese people are doing to the rhinos. As you can see, they're cutting off their horns and just leaving them there to die. It's very sad, and it's something that we should definitely look into and change. It is also important to note that poaching is a serious crime and one that does not go unpunished. However, weak judicial systems and light sentences allow criminal networks to keep plundering wildlife with little regard to consequences, according to WWF. These factors make illegal wildlife trade a low-risk business with high returns. Illegal wildlife trade is driven by high profit margins and, in many cases, the high prices paid for rare species. Vulnerable wild animals are pushed further to the edge of extinction when nature can't replenish their stocks to keep up with the rate of human consumption. The impacts that poaching has is irreversible. Poaching leads to a variety of unwanted things, such as interruption of nature and, in some cases, unnecessary or accidental killings. Pollution is another threat to endangered species, and this is one that we can prevent fully. The website To the Rescue of Endangered Species states that it alters the fragile balance of ecosystem and brings death to many animal populations. Some examples of this are water pollution and pesticide use. Leaving trash on our beaches is one area that is a major threat to turtles, birds, and other sea creatures. For example, many have seen sea turtles who have gotten stuck in trash while they were growing and as a result grew abnormally and died to this. And I actually brought a picture, and this is a type of trash. It's around soda bottles, and people leave stuff like this, soda cans, any type of trash they have, and they just leave it on the beach, and it washes up into the beach, and sea turtles and other sea creatures are getting trapped and stuck inside this, and because of this, they're growing abnormally. As you can see, the sea turtle got stuck inside this, and it's causing many of the sea turtles and other creatures to die. And the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, affirms that plastic waste is responsible for the death of about 1 million birds and more than 100,000 sea mammals each year. This is something that can easily be prevented, but instead is overlooked, and numerous species are paying the consequences for it. Pesticide use is another harmful threat affecting many species. The peregrine falcon virtually became extinct in Canada following the widespread use of DDT, a devastating pesticide. DDT built up in the tissues of the bird's prey, and its main effect subsequently was to alter the falcon's reproductive system, causing the female to lay eggs with very thin shells. This caused the eggs to be crushed under the weight of the mother during incubation, and the effect was fatal. There are numerous people like me who are aware of this devastating news concerning the endangerment of animal species. Many conservation efforts and groups have come together, such as WWF and the Red List, to inform everyday citizens of what they can do to help and what efforts are currently being made. WWF, World Wildlife Trade, is an organization that seeks to protect not only the animals, but to protect oceans, forests, and climates for these individual species. This organization runs on people giving donations and joining conservation projects. Their website gives a great deal of information concerning endangered animals, providing details about these animals, and showing what has been done to change their current status. They have very good success rates, and since the organization started, tigers were on their way to extinction. Today, with the efforts being made, there are over 3,200 tigers left in the world, and these are being protected through national zoos and habitats. I would encourage anyone, if they are deeply affected by animal endangerment, to join them in helping the species who are at risk of extinction. According to WWF, they say working together with 1.1 million supporters, WWF's partners, projects, and experts are making a difference in creating a healthy future for our planet. The Red List is also an organization like WWF, and this organization provides extensive information on exactly what animals are extinct and what animals are on the verge of extinction. They also give the threats presented to the animals and the habitats of certain animals. The main goal of this organization is to list every endangered species they have found and try and help that species of animals. There's still a lot we can do as humans without giving money to organizations that can help protect endangered species. Firstly, I believe our judicial system needs to crack down on the wildlife trade in certain areas and offer greater punishment for poaching. In most cases, if pled guilty to animal poaching, you will just have to pay a fine. And this is something people are not afraid of. The risk of getting caught outweighs the high demand of animal products being sold. Also, another easy thing we can do is limit pollution. There are many organizations that are responsible for doing this, but you don't have to join any conservation efforts to ensure a better planet for these animals. Just by picking up trash around our beaches could help the ocean significantly. Now it is important to note that we as humans cannot prevent everything when it comes to endangered and extinct animals. It is something in some cases we cannot change and is bound to happen eventually. It is also important to look at the positives that could come out of this. For example, with the Florida panthers, we created roadways and a better civilization for ourselves. Yes, we did alter the lives of many animals, but in turn we created a better society to live in. Some might say it is selfish, and perhaps it is, but we have to keep innovating. Also, I do not agree with poaching, but I can see why people do it. Rare animals have such a high demand and could offer an individual so much money. Many people in rural areas are poor and simply have no other choice but to do so. Another example of how it might benefit us is the example of pesticide use. Yes, harmful pesticides are dangerous and sometimes fatal to species, but we need certain pesticides to protect us as humans. All in all, I believe that there can be a happy medium within this problem. I believe if we as a community work hard enough, we could drastically change the lives of animals and ourselves, as well as making the world a better place to live for all. Instead of doing things just for the betterment of ourselves, we need to consider everything involved. I think that is what it all comes down to. When we create roadways and new civilizations and communities, we need to consider what that may mean to any certain species around us. So like the tigers in Asia, instead of creating new communities inside the tiger's habitat, maybe they could have relocated to a new area or got involved in efforts to relocate the tigers to a safer habitat. And when it comes to pesticide use, maybe there can be enhanced pesticides that could be made that could not affect certain species of animals. There are numerous solutions to the problem of endangerment. We just have to be smart and consider animals' lives as well as our own.